New year, new me. As of right now, it is officially 2020. A lot of people go into the new year with expectations that there will be a new version of their self waiting for them. I actually agree. A lot of people don't. They say, well, you're not really changing, kind of like in the video game The Sims, where you spin around and sparks fly out of your ass. But for me, I also celebrate my birthday. I celebrated when I turned 18, when I turned 21, when I turned 30. There's a top 10 list for the year for music, for movies, for everything else in the world in terms of pop culture. The year is brand new. And when it comes to it, I feel that new feeling too because the year always ends with a gigantic bang. There's Christmas, there's New Year's, there's just a lot of shit going on. A lot of things did happen in 2019, and I can say overall it was probably the biggest year of my life to date in terms of just the shit that I was able to accomplish. Some people, on the other hand, might not have had a great year, but there's a lot of reasons why. Some people place values in politics, and therefore there's not a lot of good news revolving that. Some people put their values within sports, and if their team did bad, it could just mean a shitty year in sports. Tragedies happen. All kinds of shit happens all the time. But for me personally, I had a pretty good goddamn year. And we are back with Season 4 of Coffee and Catastrophe with Brent and Gabi. I am Brent.
And I am Gabi.
Welcome to our little podcast. So, Gabi, what the fuck's going on?
Dude, well, first off, I'm so happy to be recording with you after 8 months of not recording.
8 months.
8 months. We realized that when we were setting up. And this is our first episode from my new home.
Holy shit.
In Chicago, in my new studio space that we perilously constructed. All of the equipment that I bought months ago. So if the audio is not what it's normally, work with us here. This is our first episode in a long time. But yeah, in terms of 2020, I'm so happy for this new year. I'm excited for a fresh start. I am a person who thought 2019 fucking sucked, even though it had so many good things happen. What's really affecting me too is that we are like in a whole new decade. But before we get into that, I have brought us some sparkling grape juice, just like our last year retrospective.
Crack it open.
Crack this shit open.
Wait, I'm gonna make those awkward noises again.
Oh, this one doesn't have a cork as far as I know.
Oh.
So it's just gonna be you peeing, you making sounds and then saying you're peeing when you're really not.
Is that how you open? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's like covered in like plastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. All right.
That was it?
Yeah, it doesn't have a cork this time. This is just from Jewel. It's not the fancy Trader Joe's kind that we got last time. It was like the Chardonnay.
It actually looks like champagne. I'll probably just get drunk, even though it's completely non-alcoholic. Just the fact that it looks like champagne, I'm going to be shit-faced. I'm going to be belligerent. I'm going to be telling you fucking secrets and shit.
You know, after this toast, that's a good starting place, telling me about your New Year's Eve.
Oh, my God.
All right.
I have quite the story.
Okay. All right. To us, to a new year, to a new decade, and to all of you listeners out there.
Clink. All right. Wait a minute. This is cat urine. You tricked me.
Haha.
It's actually pretty good.
It is pretty good. I only have sparkling grape juice like once a year, and it's like around this time when we're hanging out.
Oh my God. This thing is really, damn, it fucking grabs me by the boo-boo. Oh, shit.
So, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, what'd you do?
I have to preface it with a backstory about my financial situation.
Okay, done.
In previous episodes, I've stated that I was in a massive amount of debt. A large portion of that debt came from my hospital visit in 2017. I did not have insurance, and I had my appendix taken out. So, they charged me $60,000 just to stay at the hospital, like $6,000 just for the ambulance ride, thousands of dollars here and there just for like miscellaneous things, like going into the doctor's office to get a checkup. They literally gave me an itemized receipt of everything they charged me for. They charged me like $10 for the fucking Jell-O that they gave me. It was really good Jell-O, but honestly, Jell-O is best served right after surgery when you're starving and have had nothing in your system. Anything you eat's the best.
Yeah, agreed.
I also think the hospital is the only institution in the world where they want your pee and you pay them. Mm-hmm. Nothing else works like that. Like, if you went up to a prostitute and you're like, hey, would you, like, it's not like Deuce Bigelow where he's like, hey, you have sex with me and now you pay me or I pay. Like, it makes no fucking sense to me. So I filled out forms in 2017 that stated how much money I made that year, what my financial eligibility was. According to their little chart, I made just over $500 above the poverty line in 2017. I should be cool, right? I filled those forms. I filed them. I didn't hear anything back. So I kept getting these bills every single month that say, Brent, we want $60,000 right now. Pay us in full. Call this number. So, okay. I don't know who the fuck just pays $60,000 of anything over the phone, who especially lives in lower middle class. $100 is a lot for me. $60,000? I didn't have that many pennies. Then again, I didn't check my change. So I didn't hear nothing for 9 fucking months. And this is September 2018 by now. I call them up. I said, hey, what's going on with my shit that I submitted? They said, oh, we're still reviewing your case. We'll let you know in a couple weeks. I said, fine, okay. So then right after that, they sent me a bill in the mail for $47,000. They said, it'll give you a special discount because we know how hard you're going through your stuff right now, paying us all off. So, all right, $47,000. I was still no closer to having that amount of money. So I kept calling. I'm like, hey, I filled out these applications, and I was just wondering, according to your little graph, it said that, you know, I only made $500 above the poverty line, and I should have a gigantic discount on this. And they said, well, no, we ran it through, and what I think they did is they waited until they got information from my tax returns the following year. I made double the amount I did the previous year. However, it's still not enough to where I could just sling $47,000.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I knew someone who has had a lot of experience within hospitals, and she would just pay $10 or $20, maybe even $50 at the most every month, just in good faith payments, so they wouldn't hit a collection agency. So I did that. I threw $10, $25, whatever. They wanted a minimum of thousands. 2018, and then they just kept sending me bills. And then in 2019, they sent me a bill, and it just said your shit's being transferred over to another hospital. And I was like, what the fuck? So I tried calling them and contacting them. They never contacted me back. And I got a letter in the mail a few weeks ago, December 2019, and then they said, hey, we're gonna refer you to a collection agency if you don't fucking pay now. So I said, all right, call them up, and I said, hey, what do I have to do to keep this from going into collections? Because for those of you who have ever owed late on anything, the last thing you want to do is get anything that you owe on into collections. It greatly impacts your credit report. It's on there for a long time. Even after you pay it off, it still remains on there that you were in a delinquent state. I said, hey, I still can't afford this shit. And then she was just like, okay, sir, I'll be very transparent with you. You got to pay this off. And I was like, okay, what are my options? Pay us $47,000 right now. Well, what are your other options? And then she said, okay. And then, put me on hold. And then I heard the disturbing music that they played in fucking BioShock. Just like the piano and violin, old school music, not even anything upbeat. About a half hour. Good. Thank you for waiting, sir. Okay, we have a deal for you. If you pay us right now over the phone, $25,000.
Jesus.
So I was like, I actually laughed. And I think I swore. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. I said, is there anything else? And then she said, yeah, hold on. And then she, that fucking music again. Sir, we have a great deal for you to help you pay this off. We know your financial circumstances are bad. 12 months. You have to pay $3,165 a month. And I'm like, all right, that's like a fucking Playboy apartment rent minimum with a bar tab. And I'm like, hey, there's no fucking way I can pay this. And then she's like, well, what else do you got? And I said, give you 50. And I'm like, what do I have to do to get this from going into collection? She's like, well, we can't, secure the account for you unless you set up some sort of payment plan that we agree to. And I was like, all right. Well, what's the fucking financial number that I can call? Because I talked to this one woman. I still had her name and I still had her card. So they gave me a different institution. I was like, okay. So I called them up, gave them my case, and then they put me on hold like, do. Hey, Brent, we're just going to review your case. We're not going to make a decision as of yet. So we will let you know by next week. Next week being New Year's. I'm like, well, what are your hours? Like, when can I just call? Because usually everyone's just out of the office. And she says, no, we'll be here. We'll let you know. New Year's Eve, got a call from the hospital. It was them. It was the same woman I talked to for the financial institution. And she said, we ran your case through, we ran your file, and you now have a balance of $0. And
oh my God.
Yeah. So
that's why you didn't tell me.
Yeah. I was like, what? And then she's like, yeah, you don't owe anything anymore. We took care of it for you.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
And
oh my God.
I was fucking blubbering.
Oh.
I cried immediately. I made this woman listen to me cry because I couldn't compose myself. And she was an old Latina woman named Gloria. And she's like, yes, sir, your balance is $0. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Are you for real? Is this a bad prank? She's like, no, sir, we took care of it for you. You don't have to worry no more. And I was just like, oh, fuck. What? I was dazed.
Yeah.
Because this was hanging over my head for 2 years, the better part of 2 years.
Right.
It wasn't even to the point where I'm like, okay, so now I have my financial, like student loans and the hospital bill. I was well over $100,000 in debt from fucking everything.
Totally.
So I said, can you please send me something in the mail that reflects our phone conversation today? And she's like, yes, sir, I put that in the mail for you. And I was just like, like fucking deep soul fucking weeping. And she's like, this good news for you, Jess. And I was like, oh, you have no idea. Happy New Year to you. And then like she started choking up.
Oh my God.
And I just said, thank you so much. And then I went downstairs and then I just told my mom and dad, and my mom started fucking crying, and we were all crying and shit. And then my dad, he didn't cry, but he was just like, this is good news, guy. And then, that's his way of like saying this is tremendous news. So that was New Year's Eve. And then that night, I decided, something in me told me to stay home that day. I didn't originally have plans. I've been going out with a friend or friends every single New Year's for the past maybe 13, 14 years now. So I haven't stayed home to ring a New Year's, and I couldn't even tell you when. Definitely not in my 20s at any time. So it was the first time I was home with my mom, my dad, and my brother. And we all rang in the New Year. And it was also the very first time in our family history that all four of us were together and everybody was sober as well.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't realize it at first because I was just so used to it. And that was kind of a reason years ago why I wanted to get out of the house. But there wasn't even a sip of champagne to be held into the entire house.
Wow.
Everyone was completely of sober mind and thought. And, my dad made us all, a really nice dinner. Actually, no, we had pizza. What the fuck am I talking about? He made a nice dinner the next day. But we had pizza from our favorite place, Lando's, which is right around the corner from us. And my brother was watching The Goonies on TV, and my mom and my brother watched The Goonies. And before that, I wanted to close out the year watching the movie that inspired me the most, which is a documentary called Hoop Dreams. And I haven't seen it since prior to me going to college. And that movie was the reason why I wanted to get into filmmaking, specifically documentary filmmaking. So I watched that, and I was just as enthralled as I saw it years ago. And over the course of the year, I think I watched about 127 movies. Wow. And that was the last one that I watched. So, and then I just did a lot of reflection, and I finished out my journal writing for the year. And I wrote not only the entry for the day, but a long reflective piece on the year in general. And For the entire year of 2019, I wrote at the very minimum of 1,000 words a day in my journal. So I reached over 720 pages and 480,000 words.
That's so awesome.
For the whole year.
That's so awesome.
So that even shocked me. I'm like, what? That's the most I've ever written in my entire life, like combined.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it all in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my New Year's Eve. And we were watching the countdown on TV, which I haven't done in years because we just all have our phones now. And like my friends don't have cable most of the time. So we were just like looking at our phones, just kind of doing a mental countdown. And then like we just waited. Oh, it's New Year. Happy New Year. Hug,
Mm-hmm.
But like watching people ring it in, we were watching like, there was a drag show going on in this city.
There was a free lip sync battle at Cole's Bar that I knew of, but that's cool. A drag show. I bet it was in Boys Town somewhere.
It had to have been. It was massive though. And it's like Lip Service. I think the name was something lip was in the name of like I don't know.
It might be. I can't recall if that's the one at the Cole's Bar, but that's so cool that it was on TV.
And there was a Latin drag queen, and I was like really confused because I was just like, God damn it, he's got the smoothest armpits, like that fucking jawline. Oh, all right,
You're
I
like,
can't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like smooth skin and just fucking all dressed up. Like I'm like, I can't watch this now. I don't want this to end up with me finding out I'm fucking gay. Like this, I can't start this year.
Right. I thought you've been saying for years that you're secretly gay. So
no, I'm not attracted to men at the least. I just live a gay lifestyle. And that fucking that one drag queen. I don't know. I'm glad I wasn't at that party.
Wow. I am so happy for you. Now I know why you didn't tell me, because I asked how's your New Year's and you're like, oh, I'll save it for the podcast. Wow. I am so happy for you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. What else really? So obviously you had that amazingness for New Year's, and I think I know the answer to this already, but for our listeners out there, hasn't this theme of like paying off debt been like present throughout 2019 for you?
Oh God. Okay. At the beginning of the year, I was because with the hospitals, they don't just bill you for the hospital stay and it's like consolidated. They bill you, like I mentioned, for the hospital, the ambulance ride, the appendectomy, the doctor's visits, the x-rays, just like every little thing is
like
billed.
Everything that happened in your care, like the Tylenol they gave you, for sure.
And it's all separated. So here's another word of advice. If you guys ever have medical bills that you cannot pay off, just ask if they will take your case as a charity case, because I could have done that with the ambulance ride. However, I just dicked around and waited, and now that went to a collection agency. And once it goes to a collection agency, they just don't say, hey, I'll fucking, we'll take care of you. So a collection agency, what they do is they buy the debt from the hospital, and now they're in charge of the account. So the hospital gets their money. However, the debt collectors they're like the mafia. You don't want to fuck with the mafia. At the very beginning of the year, I reviewed my first entry. So the previous year, I did all my journal writing via hand, but my hand would cramp up and it was a real chore to just write one page, and it was nowhere near 1,000 words. So I just figured 1,000 words because even if it's not an interesting day, there's still a lot of things on my mind.
Sure.
And I'm able to pick up patterns and I'm able to just catch things. So especially feelings and emotions. So during my first journal entry, or in my first journal entry rather, I was teasing the thought of selling all of my video games and all of my vices. It was just a very fleeting thought, but I really wanted to make 2019 about getting my shit together financially and being more responsible. And see, I'm just going to say there's nothing wrong with video games. There's a big problem with obsession, and I was obsessed with video games. They're so fun. So it's not like I don't blame them at all for being awesome. It was just, instead of just the video game and just enjoying the experience, what I would do is I would follow trends. I would check prices. I would go to GameStop.com. I would do the math on their discounts and the buy two get one free deals. I tried to trade in shit for maximum value. And then I would also buy new shit. I would like cycle out my collection. So I would trade in all of my Game Boy Advance games and then get that $300 trade credit and use that towards a Nintendo DS collection. And then I would trade in the DS collection and then keep the cases. And what I would do is I would sell the empty cases in the instruction manuals online and then use that money to just get other things that I wanted. But most of the shit I was getting, I never even fucking played. There was a game for the Nintendo 3DS called Corpse Party. And I never fucking, I don't know, I just wanted to get all the 3DS games. So, or at least all the ones that look cool. And I'm a sucker for like the JRPGs, the Japanese role-playing games.
Yeah.
Never fucking played this game. Never played the demo. I read it and it said it's like a couple hours long, if you know what you're doing. So a really short game. I fucking hunted for this fucking game with the case. So if you just order it online from GameStop, you're not guaranteed that it comes with the case.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people just trade in empty carts, and especially with the Nintendo DS games, they just throw the cases away. So I would even scour GameStops and be like, hey, do you have any Nintendo DS cases you guys were going to throw away? And I would get all fucking kinds of cases. I had like 5 of each Pokemon game, like the case, you know, and all that shit. So that would eat up my whole day. And then I got Corpse Party 3D. Never fucking played it. And then I went on to the next game. I'm like, okay, now I'm looking for Solita Robo, and like, which is one of the hardest DS games to find, especially with the case. And I was just like, I can't deal with the obsession anymore. Right. So the whole first month of January, what I did was I played Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo Switch 8 hours a fucking day.
My God.
Like a madman.
My God.
And then I still was coming to terms with this thought, like, okay, Resident Evil 2 is my all-time favorite game on the PlayStation. They were making a remake of it on the PS4, and it came out at the end of the month. So I just had this pang in my fucking soul. I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish out my gaming experience by playing Resident Evil 2. So I got it. I beat it 4 times in 4 days.
Hell yeah.
I got everything I could ever ask for with the game, got most of the achievements, and I said, okay, this is it. What do I fucking do now? So I said, everything has to go. So at the time, I had a PS4, Xbox One X, which is the fucking $500 one. I had a Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS XL. I had Super Nintendo. I had Nintendo 64. I had PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, like PlayStation 2. I had GameCube, the original Xbox. I sold fucking everything.
Wow.
Everything. So I went to GameStop, and it was a really sad moment because it really felt like how when I put down my dog in 2005. Like I just carried the dead weight of all these fucking games in my hands, and I brought it into GameStop. And what you should never do is just give your shit to them for cash, because you'll always get nothing, more or less. I didn't really care, though, because I just wanted to be done with it. So I even told them what I was doing, and I remember they have a safe system to where they have to put in the code, and then the safe opens randomly. So it's if you go and rob them, then obviously the safe's not going to open. So I waited there like a half an hour for the safe to just open so they can give me the cash for all of my shit. So I just told them. I said, I got to get rid of all this shit. And I thanked them for being cool, because the ones at the Round Lake GameStop, they were really fucking cool to me. Like, they hooked me up with deals. They were very understanding. They were honest. And I just missed going there. And then I remember, like, once it was done, I had the cash in my pocket. And I'm like, this is going directly to my fucking debt. So in 2015, when I first moved out, I acquired all this debt from PayPal. So I didn't know shit about credit cards at the time. And I just moved out. I bought so much shit. And then at first I was like, $25 a month? Fuck yeah, I can afford that. I could just spend thousands of dollars on $25 a month. 25 turned into 50. 50 turned into 90. 90 turned into 150. 150 turned into $275 fucking dollars a month.
Jesus.
And there was just no way I could have afforded it. So what I did, put it on the back burner. Long story short, don't buy shit with a credit card when you want to die. Don't fucking do that. So at the beginning of the year, I had $9,000 just on PayPal. So I kept making small payments, and it was in a collection agency. So they were calling my house. They were cool enough to not put that on my credit report, which I'm so fucking thankful for. I think it was American Cornelius Internet. I can't remember the name of the collection agency. These were the nicest fucking people I've ever talked to with collection agencies. They were cool. They were upfront. They were understanding. They gave me shit. And I said, look, I like you guys. I don't want to ever talk to you again. What can I do to make this happen? So I had picked up extra hours at my job from Christmas. I had just received my tax return. And now I had this huge chunk of money I sold. That was just one transaction from GameStop. I sold all my other shit elsewhere. So I had all this money together. And they said, okay, we'll give you a one-time deal, $3,600. I said, let's fucking do it. I went to the bank, and then I talked to them, and then they said, give us, because you just can't charge whatever in your bank. You have to fucking let them know.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm going to have $3,600 go to this account at this time today. And they were like, okay. So they approved it. I called the guys back, and then they said, well, here's another thing. I can't do this right now, but we'll give you the deal, and then you just have, however much left to pay off on it. So I had that deal plus $700 more. I said, fuck it. I'm done. Called them, gave me $3,600 cash. And I spent the next 2 months just saving, and then I paid off the $700. Called them in May, and I said, this is it. I'm closing this fucking account. And they just said, thank you very much. I said, no, thank you guys for being really cool. All these other collection agents on my ass have been fucking dicks, and they're pieces of shit. You guys are really cool. So thank you very much. That was PayPal. So then over the summer at my college job, I met an accounting tutor who I worked with. His name was RV. This man taught me so much important wisdom about money and saving and goals and finances and percentages and taxes and APR and credit. I wish if I known this in high school, I would have never, I would have been so much smarter with my shit as opposed to just buying shit on impulse. So one of the most important things he told me was when it comes to paying off your debt, you need a 1 month goal for 30 days, then a 3 month goal for 90 days, and then 6 months. So what do you want now? What do you want a little bit later? What do you want at the end of the year? So we decided that by Christmas time, I was going to have the 4 remaining collections accounts on my credit report wiped out for good. So he said, write it down too, because when you see it, it'll start making more sense. You can plan out your shit. So that's what I did. I bought a big whiteboard for my room, hung it up with dry erase markers, and then I just wrote down my monthly income, all this shit. And I was like, God damn, I'm spending this much money on just bullshit. And it really made me reconsider a lot of things. Not to say that I abstain from going out and I abstain from having fun, but I abstain from having only fun.
Yeah.
And what I did was on an average of 1 month apiece, I wiped out an account. I wiped out fucking Target in a month. Then I wiped out my car repair for a fucking month. And then the 2 medical bills. Boom, boom. I met that goal I had for Christmas by fucking Thanksgiving.
That's awesome.
And then my car broke down. So my old piece of shit needed new brakes, new rotors, and a pump hose and whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
$1,100. So then I had to put that on the fucking credit card.
Ugh.
So I said, okay, fuck you. I'm just putting this here for now just because I didn't have the cash in hand. So then I still did not technically, I met my goal in Thanksgiving, but I didn't obviously plan on this repair. Still, by December 27th, I paid that off completely. So I entered 2020 with nothing on my fucking credit report.
That's so awesome.
My credit score boosted by over 100 points just from getting my shit together. And that honestly could not have happened had I not made that sacrifice at the beginning of the year with those video games. Because what I was doing was I was prioritizing my fun for the shit that I needed to do. Had I still had video games, I probably wouldn't even be halfway done. The obsession would have continued. Oh, that's coming out for the Switch. The new fucking Zelda game? Get out of here. Oh, this one weird-ass game was nominated for Game of the Year. I got to have that. I'm going to finally play this game. Get this new console. Once I killed the obsession, I had a lot more free time where I just used to, watch movies, which probably isn't, it's like the same form of entertainment. However, Netflix is $10 a month.
Yeah.
The library is completely free. So I'd rent stacks of movies from the library for $0. That completely changed my life. So right now, I have nothing on my credit report aside from my student loans. And I only have 4 things left to pay off. And my 6-month goal is to have those 4 things paid off completely. And I think I'm going to do it prior to that. So being responsible is such a weird fucking thing for me. Because my whole life I've been a big kid. You know what I'm saying? I got to have my video games. I got to have my fucking candy. I got to have my solitude. And, I just said, I know where I'm going next with this. And like this debt weighed so heavily on my mind for fucking 4 years.
Right.
And when you have so many people calling you that where you just ignore, like it's the worst thing that you can do. It's just like not only ignore phone calls, but to, just not pay your shit. And I didn't have money at the time. And I'm still not working at an extravagant job where I get paid a lot of fucking money to afford this. I was just able to budget it out months in advance. So it's like, okay, this month I'm going to have at least $300 that I'm just going to save. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I made more. Maybe I picked up some overtime. Maybe I got some sort of holiday pay. So I'm like, okay, I'll factor that in. So then I was still able to get a few things that I needed here and there, but I really didn't spend much on entertainment, and I was just able to fucking do it. And I really pushed myself to my limit in 2019. Not only with that, but physically as well. On my birthday, I fucking rode my bicycle from my house in Round Lake all the way to the goddamn Baha'i Temple in Wilmette in the course of one day. Now, mind you, I'm completely out of shape. I never rode... Okay, that entire trip was 45 miles. Mm-hmm. So I rode my bike there. It took me 8 hours just to get there. And I have a comfort bike. It was only 5 miles an hour max. I was this close to going to Madison, Wisconsin, because I fucking love Madison, Wisconsin. That was 100 miles from my house.
Yeah.
Probably would have died or gotten run over or both. So then I drove there, and that was 6,000 words of like my journal entry. And the journey I had on there was fucking phenomenal. It was like one of the best birthdays I ever had in my life. Just me and my goddamn bike. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to get there. And then I felt a little let down because when I got there, I didn't feel anything. But then the day after, when I was just completely sore and reflecting, I'm like, you just going on that fucking journey, that's what it was all for. It wasn't that temple. I've been to that temple before. I've gone there in birthdays past. I've gone there with friends. I've been there a lot of times. But the fact that I just went on my goddamn bike in my current shape and it was cool, I've never exerted myself physically that hard before. Mm-hmm. So also in 2019, like I've gained some more confidence in terms of talking with women. I don't have the same fear with getting phone numbers that I used to. Nothing came of them, but just even asking for dates, just the fact that I'm able to put myself out there and like, hey, let's go out on a fucking date. Even if the answer is no, it still sucks. But before I was just like, I can't do that. I'm going to get arrested. Fucking 2019 was just a great year for me, and I really feel I've changed a lot. And I think the friends that I do have in my life, I am closer with now from that year. And it's just a shame that I've gotten to see most people around me, like they just went through a lot of trials and tribulations where I thrived. I mean, I don't mean to sound braggy, but that was such an important year for me. So,
but it was well deserved to have such a good year. I mean, like, I am so happy for you that you knocked that debt out. And I remember when you told me that you rode your bike to the Baha'i Temple, and I was like, you're fucking crazy. And you are, but you fucking did it. And it was fantastic. I'm just so happy for you. I really am. It's so fucking cool that you had a really, really transformative year. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm like hesitant to say that my year absolutely sucked because like I made a lot of really great positive changes, but I would be lying if I didn't say that like shit fucking sucked for big periods of time. So like, when in January of last year, 2019, I was like oh, I'm going to thrive this year. But what I wasn't remembering or like taking into account was that like I was in starting eating disorder recovery, which I'm still relapse free. It's been over a year.
Fuck yeah.
Which is amazing. Like if I start with all the good things, like I'm relapse free for over a year. I still have a great job. I got published in a book, and the second publication is coming out in March. I presented at the Illinois State Teachers of English Conference. I presented at the National Teachers of English Conference in Baltimore. I bought my condo. I moved down here, and I've been living down here. Those are all amazing, wonderful things, but it was a really painful year. And I think that that Gabi, who was so excited to thrive, didn't realize how much she needed to like fucking die and be shed before walking into 2020. So the people who listen to our podcast know that, or maybe I wasn't into it as much. This year I've totally grown into loving tarot more and more and doing more and more tarot. And like, so if you add up the numbers in 2019, so 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9, you get 12. And in the major arcana of the tarot, the 12th card is the Hanged Man, which is a guy who's like hanging by his foot from a tree, and he's like kind of, he has like one leg is obviously tied to the rope that's on the tree, and the other one is kind of like wrapped behind like in a figure 4, and he has like his arms behind him like supporting his head. And the hangman's supposed to represent like really surrendering to the moment and allowing all of the things that are the ego to be shed and cleared away, so that then you can have the transformation that comes in the death card, which is card 13. So it was also, if you add 1 and 2 for the number 12, that's a 3, which is the Empress. And the Empress in the major arcana is all about like literally like a mother being dilated to receive like what is supposed to come through. And so in a lot of ways, like there were things that I honestly like feel like 2019 left me and reduced me to a pile of ashes, and I want to be the baby phoenix, but I'm really fucking tired. I remember seeing you for the first time in a while, like last week, and like you just saw to my eyes how fucking tired and exhausted, and I don't want to say miserable, but like, yeah, like so much shit. I think I don't know if it's a combination of like brain chemistry, like weirding out, or stress, or the Hanged Man year coming to an end, or the end of the decade, or I started really intense EMDR therapy, which is fantastic, but also terrifying. And it's like the closest thing to an exorcism that you will ever do. But there was like all of that, but there were also good things. It was just like though, all of the pain from the last decade, all of a sudden just like crashed on me, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Why are you doing this to me, world and mind? And so it was really, really intense. And the thing that has kind of been shed the most is this understanding of like the accolades that I've gotten for my teaching, and like these book chapters and like those presentations are wonderful things to put on a resume, but they really don't make my soul happy at all. Like I could do that for the rest of my life and not feel anything. So that was big, because in essence, what I'm now forcing myself to do, because 2020, if we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, you get a 4. And that card is the Emperor. And the Emperor in the tarot is all about you have to take the sacred space that you were born to take up. You're supposed to live your power. You know, the thing you're supposed to do in this world, you're going to do it in this year. You're going to start doing it. You know, it's really powerful. It's Emperor is ruled by Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So it's a lot of fire energy. It's a lot of like also newborn energy, because like the Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so it's like literally like a baby screaming forth, taking up space. Like, here I am, motherfucker, come and get me. And so I'm not going to lie that I'm really scared to do. And I think this might be, I feel like I've like hinted at this. I don't know if I've been really direct about this. I'm fucking terrified to do the thing that I think I meant to do. Right now it's making that album, because sadly in the tumult of this year, you know, and all of the growth, like first off, eating disorder recovery kicked my fucking ass, and it still kicks my ass. Like I can't even, while I have not binged or starved myself in over a year, trigger warning, sorry about that. It's so hard. I still have days where I look at myself in the mirror and I just cry. Like, it really kicks my ass to like feed myself, to exercise, and not do it because I'm a piece of shit, but to do it because I love myself and I love my body and I want to keep going. Like, it's still like, it's hard. Especially like this year, I have the pleasure of like marrying some of my best friends in California in May. And I'm not gonna lie, like the eating disorder will try to sneak in and be like, you know, you're gonna be all these wedding photos, you better lose weight, fatty. Like, it's intense. And I know I can't give into it. But what's also happened too is like through therapy, like really recognizing all the trauma that I went through. And I think what happened when 2019 was coming to a close, I was forced to realize that from 2010 to 2019, I experienced the most trauma in my whole life that I've ever experienced, between emotional abuse and, you know, absenteeism, to when I was, you know, sexually assaulted, but also good things like getting my master's and getting my bachelor's degrees and buying this place and moving. Like, so much has happened. But I really feel like I didn't, like, for the first time in my life, I'm like taking off the backpack of pain from the decade and like opening up the cans and the jars of like the experiences that I've been like shouldering for years. And it's like, again, it's really intense and it's really scary, but it's like, I know it needs to happen, but like, it's scary and it sucks and it hurts, but I know I need to do it to like get to a better space, right? And I have like tears in my eyes because I feel like exhausted, you know what I mean? Like, so exhausted from the year. And it's really hard because I have such an urge to like do this music stuff, and like, I feel so powerful when I'm like thinking of this stuff, or when I like share it with people and they like really love it. Like, I've shared it with you. I've shared it with a couple other people in my life, including my therapist. My therapist, like, I played her a demo and the next time I saw her, was like, I need to tell you something. I don't really remember what is said after a client session because I'm doing a good job of leaving it at work. And she's like, but I need to tell you that your song stayed with me for like, I see her every other week. So every like 2 weeks, she's like, it stayed with me. I kept going back to it. I kept trying to remember the words. It is so cool. It is so raw. It is so you. And that was really beautiful. And it meant so much to me. And I know I need to, like, I keep getting those hints and those signs of like, and when I think about myself up on stage and I like visualize it, like I'm there, it's perfect, it's beautiful. I feel like it needs to happen, but I'm not going to lie, I'm fucking scared because I've never done it before. I'm doing something that's purely based on my soul, my heart, not on my brain. You know, I really get a lot of intellectual stimulation from teaching and writing curriculum, and also like the brain likes the teaching career because it's safe, and I know I'll get a paycheck at the end of the week, and I know I'm good at it, and I don't have to push myself. So when I'm over here in like soul work land of like doing the shit that I think is gonna make me feel good and like make me actualize my true purpose, the brain starts kicking and screaming and will invite me into like, you know, stories about how you're not good enough, it's not gonna be good, like why would I even try, blah, blah, blah. So it's really hard. And it's actually funny too, because I think when I was 16, at the end of in the beginning of the 2010s, that was when I got really solid about like, I want to be a fucking musician. I want to make music. I want to fucking do this. And it's great because now, like, look, I have my own studio space. Like, I have equipment. I bought this stuff. Like, I have most of the tools. Like, I've never done this before. It's going to be a learning experience. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be messy as fuck. But, like, that's what needs to happen. Like, otherwise, I'm just going to be in fucking misery. So, yeah, but, like, I'm not shitting you that, like, especially, like, the last week of 2019, I felt like I was fucking dying. Like, brain on fire, thought I was dying. And I think in a lot of ways, again, there was, like, those layers being shed. There was the idea that everything that didn't serve me was going away. And it was fucking painful. Like I'm not shitting you that I am a pile of fucking ashes and I'm trying to be a person right now. But that needed to happen, even though it fucking hurt and it fucking sucked. What I ended up doing about it was I do what I do best, and I invested in an online tarot class by Lindsay Mack, who is my favorite tarot reader teacher from Tarot for the Wild Soul. She had this course called The Threshold, and it was all about what the hangman represents. She had all these journal prompts and tarot spreads and like reflecting, like what did the decade bring? What did that year bring? What is 2020 going to bring? What is the emperor? What does he represent? How to care for yourself in an emperor year? You know, again, it's very, I think if I had to like describe it, I'm so afraid of failure. I'm also afraid of my success. You know what I mean? Like I'm so afraid of doing the thing that I always said I was going to do because my life's going to change, or I've gotten to a space where I can't live my life as I have been the past 26 years, 10 years. You know, it's really scary, but it needs to happen. So yeah, so that's my 2019. I didn't think I was going to fucking cry, but here I am.
Yeah, I remember seeing the pain in your eyes.
Oh.
That was, your smile couldn't smile enough. Because I just saw that look in your eyes. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's, I'm just hoping that's indigestion.
You know, whenever I get to see you, it's almost like coming home, because like I know that like you see me and like I can't just cover it up with a smile. Like you're like a fucking dog sniffing, like you just sniffing and you just like sniff it out. You're like, you are acting fine, but you're not fine right now. Like, not that you would say that, but like that whole thing, like you're just like, I just see it in your eyes, and I'm like, fuck. It's like when your mom knows that something's wrong and you just start fucking crying. Like it's the exact same thing. So I was really, so when we saw each other, then we had plans for New Year's Day that fell through on my account because, so my New Year's Eve, this is the only time I've ever gone out for New Year's Eve before, like, and gone out like, I went to the Windy City Soul Club, which is a Motown dance party. They usually have it at the Empty Bottle in Ukrainian Village, but they had it in Logan Square at the Logan Square Auditorium for New Year's. And I went with a friend, and we went and we danced and we had a great time. And we didn't drink anything at the place, but we like left there like before 1 a.m. and we like found a bar, and I was going to go meet up with a friend of mine, but the line to get to the bar was too long. So we went to another place, and then they kicked us out really early. And then the bartender gave us a free shot. And then it was just like, it was too much alcohol, even though it wasn't like actually that much. It was too much too fast. So although we were planning to record this on New Year's Day, I was so fucking sick and instead slept until 3:00 in the afternoon. And what else? I just hung out. But I think, honestly, I'm so tired. And one, like, resolutions. Last year, I like walked in with like a list of goals. And this year, I'm like, fuck you, I'm tired. This is my one goal. Like, my one goal, I guess 2 goals. I really want to take care of myself more in terms of like really checking in with my body, checking in with my mind, checking in with my spirit. Like, what do I need in these 3 areas? Do I need to work out today, or do I need to chill? Do I need to like go hang out with friends, or do I need to just rest? Do I need to like go write music, or do you need to take a break today? Like really asking myself, like, what do I need right now? And like really offering it up and like waiting for a sign rather than pushing. Because I think like I've been pushing way too much. But I just think that like I was like so tired and so need of a break, and I didn't sleep at all that night because we got home and we went to bed maybe at like 3:30, and I maybe had 2 hours of sleep, and I texted you and was like, holy fucking shit, I am so sick, I am so sorry, can we do this on Sunday? I was so happy that you could accommodate my hungoverness. It was horrible.
It's okay, I'm used to it.
Oh.
No, it's just I've just really seen a lot of change. There's been a lot of on paper change in terms of just like what has happened in your life.
Right.
And I think it's just now a matter of figuring it all out.
Right.
And that pain's just like, all right, now what do you do about this fucking pain?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's that whole thing of like, all right, baby girl, like you think you know that you want this, so like, why won't you do it? Yeah, and it's really scary, but it's like important and needs to happen. Yeah, it's hard though. It's hard, like, trusting your soul is like really important and like needs to happen for actualization to like be like the fully functioning person that I want to be. Like, I need to trust my soul and need to trust that like the music I want to make is gonna like really be, you know. Pour it, it's fine.
No, I really have to go. All right, hang on. I'm just gonna piss real quick. Hang on. Oh shit.
Ew.
Fuck! It really felt like I had to go. Oh my god.
Oh, ew.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's all right. Hey, for those of you listening, Gabby didn't see my dick. Right. So don't worry. That's still a line that'll never be crossed. I'm just never gonna show her my dick.
I'm so happy. I don't need to see any more dicks for my lifetime.
I'm just saying, like, it's I don't know. Maybe it's just a dick.
It's just a dick. But yeah, no, I think I'm hopeful that this decade will have a lot of change. Because of course that's the only like literally think about this. At the beginning of the decade, how old were you? 20?
23.
23. I was 16.
Shit.
I was a junior, and I literally journaled about this. I was a junior in high school. I had just had my first job. I drove a 1997 Mazda Protege. My first job was Six Flags. I was a games attendant. I had just had to dye my hair a normal color from black and white, and I had my first bout of depression. 2 months later, my parents announced they were getting divorced, but I knew they were getting divorced anyway. Parents get divorced. I'm in AP psychology class with Mrs. O'Connor, who I love dearly, and she's the one who makes me realize I want to be a teacher. And then the ball just rolls from there to applying to college, moving in with mom, parents getting divorced, going to college, dating Cody, graduating in 3 years because I wanted to do music, instead working for a year straight, applying to a master's program in teaching, going to the same school as Cody, working really hard, student teaching, getting a job, breaking up with Cody, dating for the first time as an adult woman, having a full-time job for the first time, learning the ins and outs of teaching, eating disorder recovery. My eating disorder started in 2011, 2012. Like, it's, I can't even. I'm going to be a white girl. I can't even with how much this decade was insane and had so much change. And now I'm 26 and it's scaring me that I'm going to be 27. And I know age is just a number, but I'm still in my 20s, but I'm scared. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go get Botox in my forehead. Like, it's a thing.
Don't do that.
Oh no, I'm doing it.
No,
I'm doing it. I'm getting Botox because the thing is, if you do it before you have wrinkles, you won't have wrinkles because it freezes the muscle. So I'm gonna get Botox.
They fuck up. You're gonna look like Sloth from the Goonies. Fucking.
I asked my aunt for her person because she's.
Don't do that shit to yourself. Don't do it. They're going to just inject botulism in your face.
It is. That's what Botox is. Yep. I only have one. I just have one on my forehead. I just need them to knit. You go over once every 6 months. It will never appear.
What's wrong with your forehead?
Well, it's just got like one wrinkle. And I want to make sure no more wrinkles appear. You're like looking at me like you don't see anything. But I see it.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit. It's like...
No, I know. I know you don't care.
Yeah, but you're like, you're going to be fucked in like 30 years.
No, I'm not.
You're going to have several wrinkles and shit.
Well, the good news is if I do Botox now as a preventative, they won't form. Yeah, but I'm not joking that I'm actually thinking about doing Botox. Because my aunt, dude, she invested in herself And all I'm saying is she's like 40 something and has no wrinkles. And I want that.
I mean,
and she's not like me. Like, I'm a vampire. I don't go into the sun. I wear sunscreen. She does all of that shit and still has no wrinkles. Like,
so? I mean, that's
I know wrinkles is like really not like the crux of it, and there's like way more to it. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie that I want to maintain my youthfulness, and being 26 scares me. 27 scares me.
Oh man. I realized shit was getting real when I found a gray hair on my ball.
Wait. You said ball singular like you only have one.
Well, no, like there was just the one on one. It's not like it was so big that it covered both. It was just like in one, I was just checking it out, and I said, "Oh fuck." I mean, I'm dying. And then, like, I got some shit in my, like, I got some gray hair in my beard, and my fucking hairline is all weird. I can't, like, really grow out my full head of hair anymore without, like, my scalp being shown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like that now. It's like that thin on top, so I'm always wearing hats and shit, like Brent Michaels. And, but yeah, that's fucking, yeah.
And looking forward, so well, first off, you were 23?
Yeah.
What has happened since you turned 23?
Oh my God. I started going to college. My first semester at Columbia was in the fall of 2009. So my first year in, college was, done in 2010. So I had some of the best time of my life when I was at Columbia. 2010 is when I met some really good friends that I'm still friends with now at Columbia. Preston, Becca, still talk with them like all the time.
Yeah.
And Preston, not so much, and I feel like a cocksucker for not doing so. Sorry if you're listening to this, bro. Other than that, I graduated in 2000, and the last semester of college was 2012. I walked in 2013, and then severe depression hit me. Fucking fall. I felt pangs of it in summer of 2012, but then fall of 2013, when I was working my security job and circling receipts and just standing there as a deterrent, it just fucking hit me like a semi. And then really dark years from 2013, 2014, terrible year. 2015, I moved out, but then I learned a very valuable lesson that year, is that the person makes the place doesn't make the person.
Yeah.
And because I thought moving out would have solved all of my problems. If anything, it exacerbated quite a few of them, especially with like the money and the debt. Mm-hmm. 2016, not a really good year. Did get a girlfriend, had some fun, but not a really good year overall. 2017, one of the worst, kill me. 2018, started to fucking change. 2019, great year. So
you had an uphill trajectory.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that mine isn't. Like, it is. It's just like would I rather be 16 or 26? I'd rather be 26, because like when I was 16, didn't have money, didn't have like anything. Like now I have this, like, I like own the thing around us. Isn't that crazy? Well, and when I say own, I mean like I'm paying off to a fucking bank every goddamn month to eventually possibly own this place or build up enough equity that I transfer to another place or whatever. But still, like that's so fucking cool. So I am 26. You are 32.
Yeah.
By the end of this decade, I will be 36 and you will be 42. What do you want to happen in the next decade?
Marry a Latin woman. Or that drag queen, that Latin drag queen. I think I'd be happy with
A Latina drag queen?
I'd be happy
or
with
a
him.
Latina woman?
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be a drag queen?
Either or. Just
Either
that one.
Oh.
Not
Just that
just
one.
any.
Just that one drag queen.
All right, John Leguizamo, when he recorded Spicorama in the early 90s. You ever see that special?
No.
I'm not just saying offensive shit.
No, because
That's
when
the
you
title.
when you said the title, I was like, holy shit.
That's
I
the
haven't.
title of the fucking show. It's called Spic-O-Rama. Look it up. Fuck you. Anyway, he dressed up like his mom, and I think that, John Leguizamo dressed up in drag is like my soulmate. So
John Leguizamo is so funny. It's funny, like he's done way more than I ever remember. So like example, like he was Tybalt, if I'm not mistaken, in Romeo plus Juliet, which is amazing. He's just done a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my heroes. I mean, he started out with his one-man shows, Mambo Mouse, Spikorama, Freak, Sexaholics, Ghetto Clown, and I'm sure I'm missing another one in between there, but it was all... Latin History for Morons.
I love Latin History for Morons. It's so good.
So
you want to marry John Leguizamo dressed as his mom?
Yeah, that's only it.
No, that's it.
But I don't... I mean, I think, honestly, I got to get my health together. And it's not about weight. It's just like, I can't fucking sleep. Most of this year of 2019 was the worst sleep I ever got in my entire life. I'm on fumes every single day. There's only been maybe 3 or even 5 days where I woke up feeling energized and rested.
I cannot even imagine the pain.
And I'm not trying to sound negative when I say this. It's just a fact. If I don't get my sleep together soon, I won't make it to the end of this decade. It will kill me. I don't know. Either I'll die in my sleep or I will fade out or doze off while I'm driving. And that's just a fact. I can't fuck around anymore. The cure to most sleep apnea is weight loss. So unfortunately, I do have to take that into consideration. And I'm thinking about just finally getting my fucking health together this year. I did very well in 2018, but then I just stopped giving a shit. And then, I've been worn out physically. So it's hard to just be motivated to do certain things when I just want to fucking not do anything. But over New Year's, I just completely cleared out space in my room, and I made room for my fucking yoga mat again.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna try to get back on that shit. I'm just gonna try to stop eating a whole. I don't think I could eat fucking pizza anymore. Every time I eat pizza, it literally, like, I'm shitting 2 hours later. I'm on the toilet. I'm praying, and God's not listening anymore because it feels like an infection in my fucking... It's probably some sort of lactose intolerance I've built up over the years.
Well, and that's totally real. Like, as adults, like, there becomes like a really... Like, it's a very low tolerance for lactose. Is like, it happens. So I'm really sorry about that, though. That being said, maybe you experiment and see how much pizza... Because maybe it's just like you can have a couple, and then that way you don't have to cut it out. Because the cutting out is like... That's like misery. It's just like, and then you start obsessing about it. Once you can't have it, then you're obsessed about it.
See, yesterday I had 4 slices of a hand-tossed Domino's thin crust. No, hand-tossed cheese. 4 slices. And I woke up I had my window open, and I kicked the blanket off of me. So I had my fan blowing all this cold air on me, and I woke up on my side. Like, I'm laying down now. I woke up on my side, legs crossed, fucking just farting.
Oh.
And my stomach was, like, going, ew, and then I was just like, God, shit. So I went to the bathroom and prayed. And then it was not a peaceful prayer session. And, so it's just a lot of little shit I have to change because it's catching up to me.
Sure.
I handled my unhealthy everything in my 20s, and now I'm really starting to pay for it.
It's hard though. Like, it's really hard.
It is.
Like, I just want to like validate, like, it's really hard, and also like, yay that you are taking this step where you want to. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you didn't ever. This is the first time you've ever gotten this way. Like, no, like. But I think you're right to that point of like, and like, you can't blame yourself. Like you said, I like stopped caring, but like you had other shit going on. Like, that's how life works. Like honestly, the whole weight loss thing is it's really difficult. Obviously it ruined my fucking life. So I'm just like, ah!
Yeah. It's not the mentality that I have trouble with so much as just the physical fucking energy. Like, sometimes it's so bad to where when I come home at night from work, even if I just had a regular ass day and like I'm just winding down, it's nearly impossible for me to have the energy to just get up, take the light off, and then put my fan on and go back into the bed. And it's not like, and it's in the same fucking room. It's like 5 feet away from me. That's how bad it is.
Oh my God.
So I have to focus on that. So I think because the marriage and the kids, none of that shit matters. I got to focus on my own shit first. And financially, it's going to help mentally, and it has helped mentally. Mm-hmm. Not about having money to acquire shit. It's just the responsibility behind it all. And if I do, like, my goal for the year was just to pay off fucking PayPal.
Right.
I got that done in May. So it's like, if I did this with my health, like every day, kind of like I did 1,000 words a day. Mm-hmm. If I just did one thing and just took everything a day at a time, I really cared about it this time, like, I'll be around probably a little bit longer. But then watch, like, I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to get hit by a fucking car.
Don't you fucking say that. It's going to be like coffee. No, it's just me Catastrophe and Catastrophe with just Gabi, and it's just me weeping into a mic.
You're going to have a lot more listeners like, oh, Brent's not around anymore. Dick, he's not saying Spickorama was his favorite special.
Jeez.
It's a great special. Check it out. Here's the thing. Okay, it's a fucking travesty. Here's another thing. Okay, here's the worst part about the year. They now have every episode of the original run of Def Comedy Jam from HBO on Hulu. Or Amazon Prime. However, due to copyright laws, they redubbed all of the original music and all of the fucking crowd noise that went along with it.
So now it's just them doing comedy and no reaction, no music?
Not the genuine reaction, not the genuine music. So, for instance, like Bernie Mac's infamous 7 minutes, like, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. You don't understand. It's completely, they fucking killed it. Because the original music, I can't remember the DJ, but he would play music, like when the comedians would come out, people would go fucking crazy for certain comedians. Like when Chris Tucker would come out, like a young Chris Tucker, Martin Lawrence, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, D.L. Hughley, Earthquake, all these guys, people, they were fucking, whoa, 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 fuck. And it's all just generic, like, woo, and then to like generic rap music. That's not even from the fucking 90s. They did the same with John Leguizamo specials. They took out all of his music, and there's even parts where he redubbed his own fucking, like, bits.
What?
Yeah. There's, like, lines where, like, there's a, I'm trying to remember. So, like, okay, he plays his father drunk at a party. And then there's, like, mariachi music playing in the background. It's a copywritten song. So they put, like, fucking, generic mariachi music, royalty-free.
Oh, my God.
And then he went back and redubbed it. And you could just tell it's, like, his, like, grown-ass voice.
Versus his, like, young voice.
I know.
Oh.
It fucking...
That's really disappointing.
But I digress. This next decade, I got to start giving myself a chance more. Because wallowing in my own self-pity has never worked. It's never introduced me to people who mean something in my life. It has never gotten me anything I ever wanted. It's just fucking made for decent topics of conversation during boredom. But it all ended up the exact same. Oh, woe is me. I'm fucking responsible for my own goddamn life and my own perception around it as well. So I can just complain about, like, oh, how I'm single, oh, I'm unhealthy, oh, this, oh, that. But no, just giving myself a little bit of a chance and how much fucking change and charge and poise that I took with myself last year.
Yeah.
There's really nothing I can't do.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I'm comparing myself to others. It's just I'm in my own way. I got to get out of my way. So that's what I want at the end of this decade, to be 43 and to be unfuckwithable.
I think, honestly, that's attainable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've done so much growing. You've done so much, again, shedding what doesn't serve, figuring out who you are, figuring out what you want. Like, yeah, like you said it yourself, like your confidence with asking people out. That's amazing. That's awesome. Like, between getting the debt together, asking people out, and now you're like, hey, I gotta get my health together too. Like, you're doing fucking awesome. You're doing so good.
Thank you.
You're doing so good.
I'm trying. I'm still a dickhead at the end of the day, and I gotta change that too. So. Well,
when you say you're a dickhead, what do you mean?
I look in the mirror and I just see a giant dick on my head that can't even pee.
Like a flaccid one? Like an erect one?
Just a big old flaccid fucking dick.
Is it like, could you like helicopter it if you like bobble your head around?
No, but when I sneeze, it shakes.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it like right on top of your head?
It looks like, like a
It's on your
like a
forehead?
candy cane.
Yeah.
So it's like a neck and like the candy cane, like where it curves, and it's just a dick, and it's on my head.
Oh.
I see that.
I don't.
Right.
Now, when you say what's gonna get the dick off your head to make you not a dickhead anymore?
Just stop seeing that there's a dick there.
So working on like that you are awesome and you are worthy and you're not a dick, that type of stuff?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that shit. I'm really hard on myself. My own harshest critic.
That's true. I'm the same way. Like I partially like it really feeds the fear of like not wanting to actually like record stuff or like try and make music because it's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna fucking suck and I'm a piece of shit and no one's gonna like it. Blah! That type of stuff.
Like over the past few years especially, and even in 2019, just being able to write down like my thoughts and just reviewing them, I really have come to see my purpose again. And just like making people laugh. And it sounds a little pretentious, but there's nothing else that I do better. That's the thing that, as Steve Harvey says, that you do the best with the smallest amount of effort. That's it. And just trying to figure out how to use that. And another thing too, I gotta finally just go out on stage. That's been my dream since I was a little boy, was to have a fucking 1 hour special at the Beacon Theater in New York for HBO comedy. And I'm still here just fucking not doing anything, but like validating that I'm not doing anything, and I can't do that. I can't do this anymore. I gotta fucking do something because it's just been the fear of failing, because it's been to where if I go up there and I fucking fail, then like I'm the joke. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of been like what's been holding me back, because that's what I've wanted so much, even more than a wife and children and a future and happiness and whatever else you want to call it, just to fucking do that.
I feel you. I've recently come into I don't know if understanding is the right word. I keep thinking about, do I want a partner actually, or have I just been socialized to think that the thing that I want and the thing that's going to make me better is having a guy? Like, I've been really wrestling with that, because even in the past, wow, it's going to be 3 years, and so 2.5 years of being single, like, that was the other thing. 2019, I didn't date nobody.
Whoa.
I didn't go on a date. I didn't have sex. Nothing. I didn't make out with anybody. I didn't kiss anybody. Fucking miserable. No, I'm just kidding. But like, that's huge. Like, that's a new thing. Since I was like, because I've dated somebody since I was 19, except for that year. So, but it was worth it, because like I couldn't date somebody and do eating disorder recovery. Like when you can't look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, who the fuck would want to touch me? And if a man touches me, it's going to make my body real to me, and I don't want that. Can't do it. So, but so even like when I wasn't dating, I would like look at guys and be like, they're cute. And like, oh, maybe I want to ask out this guy. Oh, I have a crush on this guy. I'm sounding flippant about it. I'm not really flippant about it, but like you're kind of always looking, right? You're just seeing who's out there. And like and there was one guy that I talked with at a Halloween party that I went to this year, and I was like, I think I'm going to ask him out. I really like talking to him. And then when I tried asking him out, he never responded, which was fucking dumb. So fuck that. But I also like, I'm really sitting with like, God, like, do I even like want a relationship? Do I like actually want that? Or is it just something that I've been like fed since I was a little girl, and I don't actually want that? And I also think when I'm doing music, I don't know if I'll have time for another person. As much as sex and making out is fun, like, I don't know. And obviously the other stuff that goes with having a boyfriend, God, like companionship. Yeah, I really want that. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to have time for it. And like, do I just need to be my own companion right now? Like, so many questions.
Have you thought about going gay?
No, I mean, like, yeah, I have, obviously I've thought about it, but, and also like, you can't go gay, right? You're born with it. It's not Maybelline. You're born with it, right? And I was like curious and I experimented when I was like 14, but the thing that I always come back to is I don't think I could have sex with a woman. I don't even think I could make out with a woman. So I don't think I could. Yeah. So I'm just keep thinking about, are the things that I thought I wanted actually what I want? And keep like returning to that. It's like, is this really what I want? Is this really what I want? The cool thing is that I did part of my like healing from 2019, preparing for 2020 was in that tarot workshop class that I bought. They had these spreads and you could do your spiral ahead and your year ahead. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of like creative energy and like passion, but also a lot of like invitations to being like, is this like checking in and like, is this what you want? Is this what you want? What's going on? Is this what you want? Which is going to be scary and interesting and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think, for 2020, I just want to like make the music and continue being relapse free and, taking care of myself and really stopping and pausing and connecting with my body and my mind and my soul before I do anything. Yeah.
So are you going to have a baby on 9/11?
No. I hope to God I don't get pregnant.
Okay.
Like in this decade, if I have a baby, it better be like 2028, 2029. If I have a baby before 35, I might be a little upset.
Would you, if your baby was born on 9/11,
yeah.
would you give your baby one gift or two?
Wait, what?
Like if your baby was born on 9/11, would you feel more obligated to get him more gifts?
No, because here's the thing, like the kids I teach are far removed from 9/11. My baby would be very, very, very far removed from 9/11.
So you wouldn't celebrate 9/11?
No. Oh, now I understand what you're saying. Oh.
You know, like people who are born on Christmas?
Yeah, because do you get them birthday presents? Okay, friend Kristen, she's born on December 26th. Okay, so does that mean I've like been meaning to ask her, but I don't want to make her like, I don't like if it's painful. Because like there's people who are born on Christmas and they just get Christmas presents, right? They don't get like any birthday presents.
Right, so like 9/11, what do you celebrate if they're born on the day?
Well, you celebrate their birthday. You don't celebrate 9/11. You're celebrating their birthday. There's a difference.
Okay.
There's totally a difference.
So like by the time in the next 2 years when we make 9/11 a cookout holiday.
Brent.
So you give you give your baby a cookout.
Brent.
Well, oh, okay.
How many people died on 9/11? How many people died in the wars that followed 9/11? Now that we're facing fucking World War III. At the time of this recording, there is not a World War III currently, but we'll see.
All I know is Princess Leia died from sleep apnea, and that's gonna be me if I don't get my shit together.
She died from sleep apnea?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how did I not know?
It's Princess fucking Leia.
Princess fucking Leia. Oh, speaking of, I haven't seen the new Star Wars movie.
I did. I'm gonna go on the record and say this. Star Wars fans are the hardest fucking people to please.
Truth.
Nothing is good.
Truth.
Nothing. It's all Empire Strikes Back and nothing else. And no matter, they got the mentality of like, oh, this movie looks so shitty. Let's go see it and pay money to fucking see this movie. And they're wondering why they still make these fucking movies.
You know, not really a resolution. One thing I'd like to do in 2020 is there's a movie theater near my school on the highway to get home that they do $5 movie night on like Tuesdays. And I like want to go to the movies more, dude. Like yeah. I can't tell you the last movie I went to. Oh, I can. It was fucking Toy Story 4, which was a great movie. Do I want that to be the last movie I saw? No.
I fucking loved Toy Story 4.
It was really, honestly, it was really good. I don't like kids movies or like, I don't really like Disney that much. I heard Frozen 2 is really good. Didn't see it. But yeah, like I would love, like on last night, so I've been trying to like watch movies and like, the hard thing is like critically acclaimed movies like come like waves onto Netflix and Hulu. So like, but last night I watched Gangs of New York. Here is my thoughts on Gangs of New York. The first 2 acts were fantastic. The moment that, spoiler, Leonardo DiCaprio tries to kill Daniel Day-Lewis and then there's a war between them, it just sucked. And also, the casting of Cameron Diaz really fucks with me. Because every time I look at her, I'm like, this is not like an Irish young woman. This is Cameron Diaz. You can put the red wig on her. It's still Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. I think they were trying to transition her into a more serious...
Actress?
Yeah, kind of like what they tried to do with Drew Barrymore in Riding in Cars with Boys.
I don't think I ever saw Riding in Cars with Boys.
That was their effort to try to get her an Oscar nomination.
Oh.
So...
I mean, yeah, no, it wasn't, it was like, again, the first 2 acts were great, and then the movie just kind of ends, which really sucked. Like, it really sucked. Daniel Day-Lewis, though, fantastic. I also added to my list on Netflix, Midnight, Lincoln, Frances Ha. This is on Hulu. They have, Sorry to Bother You.
I saw that one.
I heard that is really good, so I'm excited to watch it. And movies, man, life.
I like Star Wars. I don't care what the fuck anyone says.
Dude, okay, I honestly didn't like the last one though. Like here's the thing, I liked it, but it also had too much. So for example, when they're on the Red Velvet Planet, and spoilers, when they're on the Red Velvet Planet and like fucking what's his face is astral projecting, Luke is astral projecting, and then like Leia's there but she's not there, like I don't like it. It was too much. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was too complicated. And also Kylo and Rey having this weird love thing. Like, it's weird. I'm not into it. They have the mind connect, and then it's like a weird sexual tension, and it's like, Kylo Ren, why is your shirt off? Put that on, buddy. Why are you wearing high-waisted pants also? Those like trousers reach your nipples. What the fuck?
I love The Last Jedi. I'm the only person that thinks that's my fucking favorite Star Wars movie.
I think Rogue One is my favorite.
Yeah, I hated that one.
Well, how did you hate it? That one was a little fast-paced, I'm not gonna lie.
Not that, it's just I didn't give a shit about anybody. Or even the message at the end, I didn't give a shit.
Rebellions were built on hope.
I mean, but that's just me personally. I mean, okay, I like Last Jedi. I like Rise of Skywalker. I'm not an expert, I just thought that with the last 2 Star Wars movies, they got the subtext and the deeper meanings absolutely right.
Did you see Solo?
No.
I saw Solo over break. That was another movie I saw that was on my list. And it was pretty good. Although there was unanswered questions at the end that I was like, how is he? And then I had to literally look it up. Like, why is this person connected with this group and this person? And I was like, oh, it harkens back to the Clone Wars. Well, why the fuck? I understand it's canon because it was on the Clone Wars, but like, why did I have to go look it up to understand the ending? What the fuck? But like, whatever. It is what it is. I'm very interested to see where they go from here in terms of Star Wars movies.
It's going to be never ending now that it's a franchise.
Oh my God, yeah. And Disney owns it.
I mean, I like the new trilogy. I'm the only fucking one, but I just love the new trilogy. I like the new one. I love dude. I saw the fucking Last Jedi in theaters twice. It's one of the very few movies I ever saw in theaters twice.
That's cool.
But I don't know. Toy Story 4. I love that movie so much. I'm actually gonna write a longer piece about that movie.
Oh, I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, because that's one with the fucking subtext that they just got right. For a children's movie, I've never seen anything like that. I thought the funniest part of that movie, like the subtext, I agree the subtext. What I thought was the funniest thing was Forky. Oh yeah.
Trash! Like that was, and then when he brings home like a girlfriend, like that, funny as shit. And I looked to my girlfriends who I was seeing it with, I was like, look, it's me in every relationship I've ever been in. Trash! Like, yeah, it's a joke, I promise. But yeah. Oh man. All right. 2020. Here we are.
What do you want to do for 2020?
I'm trying to be really careful about putting out goals like, oh, I want to have my record done by the end of the year. Like, I think that's really difficult, especially because like, I would like to, I'm going to be open. I need to demo. I have the ideas and I need to like flesh them out. So I wrote down that one goal I have is to commit to doing work on my record for 8 hours a week. So that would be 2 4-hour blocks on the weekend or 1 8-hour block on the weekend. And I feel like that's my big goal. I really want to also be more physically active and make sure that I'm taking care of me and have adequate nutrition. Now that a lot of my fears around food are gone and I'm relapse free from binging and starvation. So I would like to further get in shape because I've really avoided exercise because I've never been able to do it without thinking that I was a piece of shit, like while I was doing it, or doing it because I was a piece of shit. So I want to have a more positive relationship with that. And I think those are the two probably biggest things. What about you?
Finances, pay off those last 4 accounts by my birthday, and then save as much as I can afterwards. And possibly, by use of diet or exercise, get to the point where I can bend down to tie my shoes and I don't feel on the verge of passing out.
Well, it feels so good to be back here with you, to be talking in front of these microphones in my new fucking place. I'm so happy that we're finally in 2020. You too, listener.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot more good content coming your way. And this is episode number 51.
51.
Let's try to get to 100.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's try it.
100. So,
right.
But I'll be here. Oh. So no matter what the fuck happens, I got your back like a chiropractor.
I love you and I've got your back also like a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, this has been Coffee and Catastrophe with Brent and Gabi. If you liked what you heard, you can like us on Facebook at Coffee and Catastrophe. Our website is coffeeandcatastrophe.com. Our Twitter is at CCWBG. And drumroll, please. Brent got us on fucking YouTube. You can listen to all past episodes of Coffee and Catastrophe, all 50 episodes, at least near 70 plus hours of fucking content at this point, I'm sure. All of it on YouTube. We're still working on getting the URL that says Coffee and Catastrophe because you have to wait for a certain amount of subscribers, but go subscribe to us over there. Anything else?
Yeah. Take care of yourselves and be good to each other.
Aww. Bye, guys.